Hey guys, Dr. Kyle Loveless here. Welcome to this video. And as you saw from the title, that we're going to be focusing on today a concept that is becoming more and more popular. I mean, I just today, literally, I was speaking at a corporation today. I was talking to them about health and wellness and all these things. And one of the things I asked is, what do you guys think is the new smoking? And guess what everybody in the room said? They said it's sitting, meaning people get it now. And it used to be a year ago, no one really understood that sitting is the new smoking. It's one of the worst things we can do for our health. And I don't mean sitting for a short period of time. I'm talking about the extension or the majority of our day in a sitting position, especially the way we sit today. We're sitting at a computer like this all day long, or you're on a cell phone. Then you go home. So here's how the world works. We wake up in the morning, we grab our cup of coffee, we sit on the couch, and we either read or we get on our computer or we get on our cell phone, and then we get in the car and we drive, and then sitting, and then we go to our job, and then we sit at a computer all day long. And I say we, just a good majority of the population, at a computer all day long like this, or you're sitting at a text messaging, or even our kids are doing the exact same thing on a computer all day. Then we come home, plump down at the table, we get some dinner, and then we sit down at the couch. And our day really is 80 to 90% of it is spent sitting. Maybe in between there you do a 20, 30, maybe an hour-long exercise, but still the majority of your day is sitting. That study that I posted right there blew my mind. The Mayo Clinic in 2014 actually showed that if you spend over 2 hours of sitting all day long without your day, so just 2 hours of sitting throughout your day, is not even counteracted by 20 minutes of exercise. So I mean, even if you exercise every day, it's still hurting your health. The Journal of Internal Medicine in 2012 showed the same thing. They actually showed that prolonged sitting, regardless of your activity levels, increases all-cause mortality rates, meaning heart disease, cancer, diabetes, all the lifestyle diseases that we see right now. I really, truly believe we're in an epidemic right now of a sedentary lifestyle, and that's leading to a good majority of the diseases that we deal with. We know that the World Health Organization came out and said that the leading cause of death in our country right now, or the leading cause of disease, goes back to stress. Now, when we think of stress, we think of emotional stress. If you've heard me speak before, I talk about this all the time because it's so important to understand that there's emotional, there's physical, and there's chemical stresses that all treat your body the same, meaning your body responds exactly the same. So when you're sitting all day long, that is a stressed mode on your body. And here's how this works. One of the major ways this works is, number one, you can try this while you're watching this, kind of just lean over into this position. Okay, so poor posture over time from sitting, or just sitting in this kind of leaned over position. Take a deep breath in. Okay, and now let that breath out and then sit up fully and take a deep breath. Arms stretched back. It's good posture in this position. You can see the difference there. Ultimately, it affects the oxygen consumption going into your system. That's one way. The second way is that when your spine doesn't move, this is so very important. Healthcare is not even based on the spine and the nervous system for no reason. Our brain and our nervous system controls everything, but doctors never look at it. That should be the very first thing we get checked, not because I'm a chiropractor, but because that's what controls your body. When the light bulb goes out, if it's not the light bulb, I'm going to the circuit, right? Because that controls my house. The same thing happens with the body. The brain and spinal cord control everything. 90%, okay, get this, 90% of the stimulation and the nutrition to the brain that controls every organ, tissue, cell in your body, 90% of that stimulation comes from the movement of your spine. If your spine's not moving, you're dying. You're only as young as your spine is. Hippocrates said, look near to the spine for the cause of all disease. There's study after study after study I can spend time talking about. I'm going to move on though, but understanding that your spinal health is the key to a healthy life. Disc spine degeneration will lead to other health issues across the board, and it's so important. So when we're sitting all day long, our spine becomes subluxated, it isn't moving. Cerebral spinal fluid, which pumps through your spine and feeds nutrients and minerals to your brain, only moves if you move. Your discs are filled with fluid. They only replenish that fluid, and old fluid gets out and new fluid gets in if you move. It's called imbibition. It's actually we're required to move. So if we're sitting the majority of our day, we're dying. That's the fact. So here's what you got to do. If you're someone who has a job where you have to sit, you make a living at a computer, which many people do nowadays, then you got to make some shifts in how you're doing your job, okay? Because we know that you're going to just And you feel it at the end of the day. You're exhausted at the end of the day if you're sitting at a computer all day long. I don't care who you are. You're tired at the end of the day if you're sitting all day long. So, because there's so much stress on the body. So here's the top 5 things. I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do with sitting, still having a job that requires you to be on a computer all day, that you can change. Number 1 is you're going to use something called, we call these, I'm just going to move this question mark out of the way. We call these wobble. It's called a wobble chair. I call it a wobble cushion, really. Okay. So wobble cushion is number 1. Let me show you it. This right here. Okay, it's a little cushion. You might have seen these before. A lot of physical therapists, a lot of chiropractors carry these. And ultimately, this is a cushion filled with air. Now, what you do is you get this cushion, you sit on it, put it on your chair that you work on every single day, and every 15 to 30 minutes, you move. You sit on that wobble cushion, you go side to side, front to back, and you get full range of motion within your spine. And you can do that while you're working. So you're on your computer, still moving. And over time, get full spinal movement. So that's number 1. Use the wobble cushion. This thing is very, very helpful for disc replenishing, making sure you can fluid back into your disc, and pumping cerebral spinal fluid, and making sure that your whole spine is moving so that you're not building disease. Okay? That's number 1, wobble cushion. Along with that wobble cushion, I'm not going to write it up here. I'm just going to stand over here so you can see this better. Along with that, I'm going to recommend a foam roller. And I don't have one with me here, but you've seen these things. You can get them at the sporting goods store, and they're this round foam, and the different colors, and you can roll your spine up and down it. That rolling of your spine pumps the fluid and makes sure the joints are moving. So that's really important. So wobble cushion and the spinal roll. The second thing that I'm going to recommend here is if you're in a job where you're sitting in meetings all day long, a good idea, and you can talk to your employer about this if you're not leading the meeting or whatnot, or your manager, and maybe a good idea could be a walking meeting, right? So do your meeting, but do it while you're moving. Or maybe stand in the room and move while you're doing the meeting. That'll get blood flowing, you'll have a better meeting. Anyways, that's a good idea as well, walking meetings. The third one is set an alarm, okay? So if you're sitting and your job requires you to sit, doesn't mean you have to quit your job, but let's get up and move every so often. So every 20 to 30 minutes, have that alarm set, and you get up and you move your full spine. That full spinal movement increases making sure your body's not degenerating. So every 30 minutes, get up and move. The next one is going to be a standing desk. Okay. This isn't always opportune. You're not always able to have this, but if you can go on Amazon and get a cardboard style desk that sits on top of your other desk. You can put your computer on top of it so you're not stuck in this position and moving while you're standing. That's a great way to do it. I've actually seen people with treadmills underneath their desk. That's pretty cool too. And the last one, which is always my favorite, is get chiropractic care. I can't stress this enough, that the chiropractic care not only makes your body more resilient to stress, but it makes sure at every level without your spine that the vertebrae are moving. If the movement of your spine is 90% of the stimulation and nutrition to your brain, I wouldn't go a day without spinal movement because it feeds your brain. And if you want to be productive in life, energy, literally the definition of energy is your ability to do work. Okay, so if you don't have enough energy, you can't do work. It means you can't be productive. So chiropractic care is going to help make sure your spine's moving, make sure the nervous system is flowing and operating at 100%, blocks the stress response in your body, helps bring your body back to homeostasis, and now in return, you can do the things you love to do. So that's the top 5 things I'm going to recommend to do instead of just sitting all day long. These are game changers for you. You'll feel more energy at the end of the day. You'll notice a difference. Chiropractic care is either a therapeutic technique, meaning you have a symptom and we need to get you out of that symptom mode, out of pain, which can be frequent visits, like 3 times a week type visits, or you can be in a wellness care model where you feel great. Maybe I don't have really spinal damage or degeneration, but you want to make sure your spine's moving. You can do that from once a week to every other week and have maintenance care on your spine. Both those ways work. So no matter who you are, if you have a spine, you have a nervous system, these are things you should be doing on a daily and weekly basis to make sure you have good, healthy spinal health. Follow that up with drinking plenty of water, and you are on a good road to success. So ultimately, know that sitting is a big deal. It really is. I can't stress that enough. If I were to tell you one thing to change in your life, it would be get your spine moving again, because that's the key to life. A good, healthy spine is your youth. Your nervous system controls everything. All right, guys, hey, like this, love it, and share it. People are in a mode right now where they're depressed, they're sad, they're degenerating, their health is dropping drastically, and it's happening because of this. They're sitting too much, they're not moving, and that's a big player in it. That one thing could change someone's life. You guys have an awesome day. We'll talk to you soon.